Packers, Lions, Thursday night. Let's get it.
Welcome to FaZe Fantasy Live with your host, Lonnie Z.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Lonnie Z, and along with me is Jake Hansen, and we're going to be breaking down the Thursday night game between the Packers and the Lions. Both of them come in at 2-1. It should be a real good game. What's going on, Jake? How are you, bro?
I'm doing good, Lonnie. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Real good. So we got the Packers and the Lions, NFC North, black and blue, that whole deal. And it should be a battle. Both teams are coming in 2-1. The Packers just came off of a come from behind victory, and the Lions, really won it pretty handily against Atlanta. We were kind of surprised that Atlanta wouldn't score like, they didn't. They only got 6 points. So the Lions look pretty good in their win too on Sunday. What's your take on this game, man? What are some keys to this game?
The keys to this game, it's going to be in Green Bay. So I think Jordan Love just needs to keep doing what he's been doing, right? He's been pretty solid. The first half of last game, he started off a little slow against the Saints. But Green Bay just needs to keep doing what they're doing. Detroit, we've talked about them a lot, and I think they're a really feisty team that could really blow out a team, And I don't think they have really lately, but if David Montgomery comes back this week, I know he's questionable. And Jahmyr Gibbs, that's the biggest thing. I think we're all glad he's playing Thursday, so we don't have to put him on our lineup this weekend and then have a big, then be upset, But we all want to see him do something. He's right there. He's right there, man. And I think it's going to be a good division game. It's going to be a tough division game. Detroit and Green Bay, they play tough. Last year with Rodgers' last game, that was a tough game.
I agree. I think it is going to be a tight game. Those teams always play each other tough. And now with the emergence of Detroit, they've been better the last 2 seasons. And so I think this is really, Aaron Rodgers is gone. So it's Jordan Love's team. This is going to be a good game. David Montgomery is questionable. We're not sure what's going to happen with Montgomery, if he's going to be available or not. I know he had some limited practice in the walkthrough yesterday, so we'll see. You're going to have to check right before game time to see if he's available or not, if you have him on your fantasy team. Also, worthy of mentioning is their left tackle, Taylor Decker. He's also questionable. And I don't see exactly why. It just says yesterday he just showed up on the report as questionable. It doesn't really give any details what's going on with him. And Jonah Jackson, their left guard. So their left side of their line is kind of banged up, but nothing says that these guys aren't going to start. So I would think that they're going to go ahead and start. And Veda, their right guard, is out. So it looks like Graham Glasgow will be probably starting tomorrow night at right guard for the Detroit Lions. And as far as the Packers are concerned, Aaron Jones is still questionable with the hamstring, and we're not sure what his status is. Christian Watson, he did work out limitedly in the walkthrough yesterday, but they're not saying that if he's going to be available for sure or not. He has said he's going to play. So Christian Watson is saying that he's going to play. So if you have Christian Watson, you almost have to put him out there on a Thursday night, because if he's good to go, he's good to go. I wouldn't wait around to get him in my lineup. I'd probably just put him in. David Bakhtiari is out on that line, left tackle, and left guard. Aiden Jenkins is also out. So that left side of their line is kind of banged up too. So that means Rasheed Walker and Royce Newman will step in as the starters there. And that could have some impact. Last week, Jordan Love did start off slow. He ended up with 22 of 44, 259 yards, a touchdown and an interception. But when it seemed like when it was crunch time and when they really needed him to step up, he played well under the pressure. And so that's what you want to see from a young quarterback. I know he's really not young; it's his third year, but his first year as a starter. And then in the Detroit game, they beat Atlanta. Jared Goff was 22 of 33, 243 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Very similar numbers to Jordan Love's. But Jahmyr Gibbs had 17 carries for only 80 yards. And if Montgomery's back, we could expect that to drop down some. But if he's not, we can expect the same type of a workload. 17 for 80, 4.7 average. That's not bad. He just didn't get in the end zone is really what it was. And he only had one reception on 2 targets, which I was kind of surprised of his low volume in the pass game. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm surprised because we heard from Campbell that his biggest thing in the playbook for Gibbs was going to be in the passing game, and it just seems like the whole thing from last year was Swift and Jamal Williams. We all thought Swift was going to have the passing and more of the runs, and then Jamal Williams pretty much took over that. So, I think we're just waiting. Maybe Campbell's a little hesitant of putting too much on the kid, but the passing game, I mean, he talked about it like, oh yeah, Gibbs is going to get at least a 5 to 7 receptions a game, or targets, or at least 10 targets a game, and we haven't seen that yet. And one thing about this game, Detroit has won the last 3 games against Green Bay. So the last 3 games, and I have a couple cheat sheets, things going on. Aaron Jones has scored 1+ touchdown in the last 10 of his last 13 games in September. So in September, in the last 10 of his 13 games, he has scored at least 1 touchdown. And then Amon-Ra St. Brown has scored at least 1 touchdown in the last 2 Thursday night games that the Lions have played.
Yeah, I think the passing game for Detroit is going to be huge tomorrow. They got to get St. Brown going. They got to get Laporta going. Laporta has quickly, I mean, he's tight end 2 right now. Fantasy tight end 2, which is kind of crazy. At least in ESPN leagues, he's tight end 2. 8 for 84, a touchdown on 11 targets. That's the part that really, excites you. St. Brown had 12 targets. Laporta has 11 targets. And then after that, it was Khalif Raymond with 6 and Jahmyr Gibbs with 2. I think that getting Laporta involved early and St. Brown, that's going to be huge. But yeah, on the Detroit side, that's what I see. I think that you got to get these guys going. And if you're playing fantasy, you have to start St. Brown. You always start St. Brown. And if you were able to pick Laporta up off of waivers this week, or you had him on your team, you got to run him out there. You could just start playing him. Unless you have someone like an Andrews or a Kelsey, you got to run Laporta out there and just trust that they're going to try and get the ball to him. On the Packers side, you hit it right on the head. With Jordan Love, he started off slow and then he actually finished well. A.J. Dillon, though, we had touched on this in our recap of the weekend games. 11 of 33, that's a 3-yard average. That needs to be a little higher. He's got to get that up. 11 carries for 33 yards. That's not great. And so I don't know if Aaron Jones is coming back, but they need Aaron Jones back to really get that offense going. They did have Romeo Doubs is starting to look like him and Jordan Love are getting some chemistry. He had 12 targets for 73 yards and a big touchdown. His touchdown was huge. And that was a real nice catch, too, in the side of the end zone. That was a really acrobatic catch, nice catch. And then Jaden Reed continues to make big plays down the field. He had a 30-yard pass, 7 targets, 3 receptions for 63 yards. And if they get back Christian Watson, that could really be huge for them. And Musgrave looked good too. They're tight end. He had 8 targets. So it looks like now that Aaron Rodgers is gone, they're really starting to spread the ball around, because Rodgers was really picky. If you dropped a couple of passes, he wasn't going to throw you the ball anymore. He didn't trust you. It was all last year. That's all we heard. Oh, he doesn't trust his rookie receivers. Well, with Jordan Love, he's just throwing it around to everybody. And I think that opens it up for their coaching staff to go ahead and get the ball around and mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, Musgrave, he's been progressing every week. It's been more and more. I've been liking him. I've been watching him a lot. I've been watching him see how he's been doing, and he's been progressing every week. And I like him. I think with the Watson coming back, it might open up Musgrave a lot more. Also, So, but yeah, you're right. Aaron Jones needs to play. He needs to play to make it easier on Love. And I mean, I really think Detroit's going to win this game. I think they're going to go in Green Bay and win. I just see, I know Christian Watson's going to be back, but I see Detroit winning this game.
All right, so you got Detroit. I don't know, man. 2-1. Packers are at home. I feel like this is the kind of game Detroit loses. I don't know why. Just, it's just a feeling. They're very evenly matched. The winner comes out in first place of the North because the Vikings are 0-3. The Bears are 0-3.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have just these two teams. And they could be the two, as of right now, they are, but it looks like they're going to be the two racing for the division title, that AFC North title. So this is going to be kind of an important game because down the road they use tiebreaker systems and all that kind of stuff. So I'm taking the home team. I'm going to take one of your takes, and I'm going to go with the home team on this one. And I say Green Bay gets it done. I'm kind of excited to see Jordan Love. And, man, if Christian Watson gets out there, that's going to be a cool thing to see how Love and Watson work together because Christian Watson's dynamic. When he's healthy, he's a really, really solid wide receiver. And I think that if he can stay healthy, it's going to really change that team. But the bottom line is if Aaron Jones doesn't come back soon, that's really going to affect the Green Bay Packers. They really need him. He's the actual key to it all. Now, they've been able to win without him, but that won't last too long when they start playing really good teams. New Orleans, not a great team. They beat New Orleans at home by 1, No.
And I think I'm picking on Jones not playing tomorrow. I mean, they're saying Watson's been with, practice and Montgomery's kind of looking all right, but they're not saying anything about Jones. They're not saying really anything. They're just saying questionable. And his hamstring, they said it was a bad one. So I just think it's going to be a smash mouth game. I think it's going to be a good game, like a really good game. And I just see if Aaron Jones doesn't play, I think Lions will beat him. I think I'm going off of that.
Yeah, that makes sense. If they don't have Jones, it's a real big disadvantage. But they're going to have to figure it out with or without him, though. That's part of it. But I agree with you 100%. Jones is a big difference. I'm still going to stick with them. I think that they're kind of figuring their way out. And it just seems like these are the kind of games Detroit loses. Watch Detroit go put up like a 40-burger or 50-burger and make me look like a moron. But I just want a good game. I just want a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a good game. I bet it's going to be the best Thursday night game yet.
Yeah, it should be a good game. I think so. Anything on the waiver wire front that you noticed this week? I mean, obviously we had some guys that we had told everyone to target.
Pretty much everything that we talked about for the waiver wire pickup in all my leagues, every guy that we said got picked up.
Yeah. And A-Chain or A-Chan,
yes.
I think the pronunciation, the real pronunciation is A-Chan. I think I heard that yesterday, so I'll try to do it right if that's how he pronounces his name. You know what I'm saying? So A-Chan, when I looked at him, he reminded me of a running back, Tyreek Hill. I mean, this guy is fast and quick and fast and incredibly fast for a running back. I was like, wow, he just left that guy like it was nothing. 4 touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, 2 receiving touchdowns. But they're saying Mostert is the guy. I believe that. But I think this kid could actually carve out his own standalone little, niche in that offense where they line him up wide, put him in the slot. They had him and Mostert in the game together on some packages. So Mike McDaniel was really a guru at calling plays, running the offense. And yeah, granted it was against Denver, but Denver's defense wasn't supposed to be that bad. So it was just,
No.
it just all fell into place. But if you got a hold of HN, I think that's a good pickup. Whoever got a hold of him, because I think regardless of Mostert or not, and if Mostert, he has a history of getting hurt, man. So if he goes down, you may have a top 5 running back if they use him right. This kid's dynamic. Anything you take anything away from the weekend that you wanted to touch on real quick? Or
There's a couple things. They I don't think we knew about this yet, but Jimmy G, they did say he's not going to play this week. I mean, it could change, but I did see that he's not going to play, and that the backup is going to play O'Connell. So, if you have any Raiders, Jacobs and Devontae and all that, sometimes when a backup quarterback comes in that's never really played, you kind of be hesitant on starting those guys. I mean, I'm always going to start Devontae Adams, but if you can't throw, look what's going on with the Jets right now. I mean, we all have Garrett Wilson, and he's not doing nothing for us because Zach Wilson can't get the ball out of his hand. So, it starts to get, you make drafts and you make draft picks that that's what's going to happen, or you think, and then somebody gets hurt and it just ruins it. So, I mean, that's one right now. I know that Jimmy G, they're saying he is out, and I don't see anything changed yet. But no, I think that's pretty much it right now.
Yeah, want to keep an eye on that game. Aiden O'Connell is going to be starting, and so it's funny that Brian Hoyer is not going to be the starter. That's kind of weird because he's listed as their number 2 quarterback. So if you're saying that O'Connell's going to start, I wonder why they made that decision. But, it's the Raiders, bro. Who knows? The Raiders do some funky things, brother.
Yeah, I mean, it could change, but am I seeing that everybody was talking O'Connell. O'Connell, he tore it up in the preseason. So I know Raider fans are saying the next Brock Purdy. I've been hearing that all day. So, but I mean, it could be Hoyer, but I mean, but then you think about it, why Hoyer hasn't?
Yeah, they know what they have.
His
with
last
Hoyer.
5 years hasn't done nothing.
Yeah.
He hasn't done nothing. So it's like, why? Why would you do that? And that could be, it could change. But that's a game that I would keep an eye on for sure.
Gotcha. Yeah, so that wraps up the show. Hopefully you got something out of it. And remember, watch the game time decisions, because David Montgomery, Aaron Jones, and also Christian Watson, you want to know if those guys are going to be in the lineup before you set your lineup for tomorrow's game, Thursday Night Football. Jake has the Lions. I have the Packers. And it's going to be a good game. We expect a good game. Thank you for listening. I am Lonnie. He is Jake. And we'll catch you on the next one.